Hey Dino Dudes, what's up? It's me, the Media Raptor, and I'm back with another movie review. Now today, I'm going to take a look at a 2016 crime drama sort of comedy. That movie is War Dogs. Yeah, I went to see War Dogs last night, and what did I think? Well, there's one thing which I didn't know about this movie, which I think may have really helped if I did know beforehand. Excuse me a second. This movie is in no way a comedy. It does have funny moments, it has funny lines, it has comedic relief, but from what the trailers were saying, I honestly thought this was going to be a lot like The Hangover. But with two guys trying to smuggle guns. I thought, oh, okay, it'll be a comedic movie from Todd Phillips based on some true events, but it'll also be fictionalized. No, it's actually not. It's a very, rather dark sometimes, retelling of an event which happened, which I don't know a lot about, but I want to learn more about because it was really cool, at least from what this movie was going on about. See, we got these two dudes who end up being able to sell guns to the army and stuff like that, but it's not a comedy. It does have some very good comedy moments, but I was sort of expecting a, like I said, a Hangover with guns, and not Hangover. See, while it is a good thing that it's not, well, it is kind of a bad thing that the ads kind of lied a whole lot and told us that it looks funny, but they really showed a lot of the funny moments in the trailer and that was it. It's also a good thing that it's not a comedy. You know why? This proves something to me, something I've wanted to see for a while. That Todd Phillips, the director of this movie and the Hangover trilogy, can do a different type of movie, and he can do it well. This movie was great, don't get me wrong, like a solid movie. It still has plenty of flaws, which I will cover in just a minute, but it was a very good movie and arguably one of the best non-action movies. Like if you're looking, it's sort of up there with stuff like The Big Short, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, Wolf of Wall Street. It's a movie like that, except not nearly as overly sexual as Wolf of Wall Street. See, here's the thing. This movie, it has a really compelling story and really interesting characters. The main two characters, when they start out, they seem like me and my friend Rockstar. They seem like longtime best buds who are inseparable, who just, they want to make money together. And you know what? They're kind of slackers, but at the same time, they do what's right. They're trying to, it's hard to explain without sounding really weird. Like, the two characters are very relatable at the first. And then the movie kind of gets rather sad in a way. They make a ton of money during this movie. And it shows how that money, sorry, I have a fan going here if you're hearing that. It shows how that money and well, mainly Jonah Hill's character, it shows how the power of everything they have, it destroys the two of them. Like, it's actually well set up. Like, it's said from the beginning, and you see it long before they start selling guns. These two guys have been best friends for a long time. And I loved both of them. I thought they were really fun characters. They kind of seemed like guys I could relate to. And by the end, everything that they used to have together, like their friendship, their goals, their similarities, everything is gone. And it's actually pretty sad. Everything which they had over the course from they literally say grade school. So you can assume kindergarten to grade 10. So that's about 12 years, because I did 2 years of kindergarten. That was how I worked in my school at least. That's 12 years of having your best friend. And then he's gone for a bit, then he comes back, and the two of you are able to do so much. And it all disappears. If anything, this movie is a cautionary tale about how power and money can lead to, well, so many people think that if they have power and money, it'll make them happy, but if it won't, it'll destroy them. This movie, it's got a really good story. It's got some pretty good underlying messages that if you think about, are good messages. It's not hammered over your head with. At the same time, this movie makes you question yourself in some ways, like, what would you do in this situation? Or like, what would I do if that was me? and you may not like the answers. I didn't like the answers I was getting for what I would do, but I'd rather not talk about that right now. Also, another flaw with this movie's writing is it is kind of predictable. You know, spoilers here, you know by the end that they're going to get busted. This is not going to end well for either of them, considering how it's been going. But how they get busted, you do not see coming. It was a great twist. And I'm not saying that it's not funny. There is some really good comedy moments in this, and I genuinely laughed at this, but it's not a full-blown comedy. And it's also not a movie if you're easily offended. Don't watch this movie if you're easily offended, but it's Todd Phillips, what are you expecting? Anyhow, the only other real problem I have with the writing is the fact that the pacing is pretty bad. This movie's an hour and 54 minutes, and it could have been a lot shorter. But still, it's a good movie. There's just some scenes which are kind of like, yeah, you think they could be better off without, but what are you gonna do? So, one of the movie's best strengths, though, and maybe the best part of this movie, is the acting. The actors in this movie are great. Jonah Hill is great, the other main character is great, Bradley Cooper for like the 7 minutes he has is great. I wish they'd given him more screen time, because Bradley Cooper is an amazing actor. I have not seen him turn in a bad role yet, even in Hangover 2 and 3. And it was really well done. Special effects, there isn't really a lot of CG or anything, because like they do some explosions, they do some gunshots, but I think it may have actually been either real ammo or like blanks when they were just practicing shooting and stuff. So that's not really anything to talk about. Like, there's nothing really to talk about for special effects. Music, there's a couple actually really well placed songs throughout this movie, and it's stuff like Pink Floyd and other classic rock songs which actually tie in pretty well with the movie. So when it comes down to it, can I recommend War Dogs? Hang on. Yeah, I can recommend War Dogs. It gets 3 Raptor claws out of 4. It could have been a lot better, but it could have been not a lot better. It could have been better, but I think part of that has to do with I was expecting a comedy. So if you go in knowing it's not a comedy and you like war dramas, crime dramas, which are not exactly my thing to begin with. I like crime movies, but I'm not a huge fan of dramas. You'll like this movie a lot. And even for someone who's not that big a fan of these kinds of movies, I still really enjoyed it. Now, I don't think I'm going to see it again in theaters, and I don't think I'm going to buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray and DVD, but I don't feel like I lost my money seeing it. I feel like, yeah, that was a good movie this year. And I could easily see it going up for an Oscar, because the people who run the Oscars and the Academies, this is the kind of stuff they like. So guys, until next time, this is the Meteor Raptor saying keep cool, and I will see you guys around. Later!